What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Texas Empire. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite tools, and that's wrenches. Alright, before we jump headfirst off into this, if you like this type of content about tools, tool reviews, heavy mechanic type stuff, and hunting, archery stuff, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs down if you don't. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so this tool that I picked today to talk about, I got 5 different categories of this type of tool set out here, and that's wrenches. It's one of the most common tools for any type of mechanic. Almost every person that owns anything has a few wrenches laying around, and they're must-have tools for just about anyone. But for heavy equipment mechanics like myself, or mechanics in general, we have specific wrenches that we need and that make our job easier. Now, easier isn't a good term. Let me call this make us more efficient, because an efficient tech is a good tech and a better tech than the person next to him. You got the right tool for the job, you got the wrong tool for the job. You got the tool that will work, but you got another tool that make it go faster. There's just all kinds of ways that having different types of tools makes you a more efficient mechanic or technician. So to kick this off, plain and simple, combination wrenches. Combination wrenches are self-explanatory. They're real simple. We're not going to spend much time on them, other than brand doesn't matter most of the time. You know, if you don't like to buy China-made stuff, you don't buy China-made stuff. If you can afford Snap-on and everything, you buy Snap-on. If you can't, you don't. Right here, I've got 2 Snap-ons, a 13/16 and a 7/8, and then I got a Husky 13/16. Now, these Snap-on wrenches are a yard sale find. I didn't buy them off the truck. None of these tools are off a tool truck except for these. Well, no, I'll take that back. Some of these wrenches are off a tool truck. We'll get to that in a minute. But there's different uses. So, like, I've had Husky wrenches out of a set since I was a young teenager, and I used these things for 2.5 years. As a heavy equipment mechanic, they work just fine. Some people don't like them because the shank size here and everything compared to the Snap-on. And that's another thing that's different. This is a Snap-on. This is a 13/16. You see the length difference, shank size, everything like that. It's just personal preference. If you want to buy China-made Husky, Harbor Freight, you do that. The only type of wrench that I hate is Task Force. You can nearly fold them in half. They're worthless. I've had Stanley, Craftsman, Northern Tool, Harbor Freight, Snap-on, Mac, Matco, Extreme Torque, Caterpillar, everything, and it's just personal preference and what you can afford. For me, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on high-dollar wrenches when I know a Husky can do the same. These are a yard sale find is the only reason why I have them, as far as combination wrenches go. So that's just my personal experience and personal opinion. Now for the next category, these are my favorite type of wrenches, and that is ratchet wrenches. Now when I started, I didn't have any ratchet wrenches, and I was only there for a couple weeks working on Caterpillar equipment, and I learned that I needed a ratchet wrench in 18, 16, 13, and 10. I went to Northern Tool and bought a flex head ratchet wrench, 18mm and 16mm. They're clutch brand, and these did fine. I used these things for almost a year, and they were just fine. I'll tell you why I don't use them anymore here in just a second. And then I realized later on I really needed a 13 and a 10mm ratchet wrench, so I got on the Mack truck and I bought just a 10mm and a 13mm ratchet wrench. Ratchet wrenches are awesome. They make things where you can't get sockets in there go 10 times faster. Now sometimes you still can't use a ratchet wrench because of the end size and everything and the wall. It just won't fit in there, so you have to use a normal wrench. You can't always use a ratchet wrench, but when you can, it makes you far more efficient. But ratchet wrenches are where I would spend a little bit more money, and the clutch did work just fine for about a little under a year before I replaced them with Caterpillar, but I don't feel like they would have lasted till now. But they're okay, and they have a lifetime warranty, so you could just go replace them. If that's all you can afford, that's what you get. But for me, I would spend a little bit more money on ratchet wrenches. I don't know anything about gear wrench other than what other people have told me, and I hear a lot of mixed reviews. Some people love them, some people hate them. For me, I have a Caterpillar set right here. I have 3 of them, 3/4, 11/16, and 5/8. Caterpillar ratchet wrench. I have a complete set, standard and metric. If you want the part number, just hit me up in the comments below and I'll get you the part number. You can see these more in depth in some of my past tool tours. I'll try to link that here. Sorry, I just got over COVID a couple weeks ago and it still hasn't fully gotten out of my system as far as like the cough and everything. But Caterpillar wrenches are great, but ratchet wrenches, we're not talking about brand, we're talking about category. Ratchet wrenches make you a far more efficient tech. It's self-explanatory as to why they do. You can run it in there and go faster where you can't get a socket on a ratchet. But again, you can't use them all the time because the thickness of the wall won't let you in there, which is a thing. And then you get combination wrenches, it's not a big deal. So the next one, those two I think any mechanic should have, period. Any type of mechanic should have ratchet wrenches. It makes you far more efficient. That's my personal opinion. The next two are more specific towards people that work on a lot of hydraulic stuff. And these, in my opinion, are must-have for heavy equipment and hydraulics. I call these service wrenches. Now, I've got 3 out of my set here. I got an 1 1/8, 1 3/16, and a 2-inch. That short handle, you can get in there. Now, you can't like bust a 2-inch line, hydraulic line loose with this, which I don't know that there's that many that you'll have to. 1 3/8 is what I use most of the time. You probably won't be able to bust one loose with this, but if you're going to put one on and it's in an awkward position and you got a 2-inch wrench in there and you're trying to get a turn, you can only get a turn that much at a time, not even a quarter turn, 1/8 of a turn. You run this off in there and you can make as far as you can reach with it, and then you put your 2-inch on it and you just get the last little oomph on it. Service wrenches, working on hydraulic hoses, are lifesavers. These are extreme torque, which I think are from, you can get them at Northern Tool. Maybe Amazon. I think you can get these on Amazon. I will link different brands to some of these. Obviously I can't link Snap-on or Caterpillar or Mac, but I can link other brands that I trust down in the description below, and I will link service wrenches and hopefully all of these besides these last guys right here. Service wrenches for working on hydraulics are a lifesaver. They work great. You're crawling off into a hole. You're trying to swing an 1 3/8 wrench off in a tiny area. You can't do it. If you're on a control valve on like a dozer where you didn't pull the cab off and you're trying to work under floor plates and everything, trying to swing an 1 3/8 wrench in there is impossible. So you get it busted loose with 1 3/8 and then you swing it with a 1 3/8 service wrench. They're basically just stubby wrenches that go up bigger size, and there's no box end on the other end. And one thing I do like about this brand is the thickness of the shank. The handle is not so thin that when you're trying to get on it like I have, you're not stabbing the crap out of your hand. It doesn't come to a real sharp point. It's real blunt. Works great. Service wrenches, working on hydraulics, must have, period, in my opinion. Make you so much more efficient and just make your life easier and not make you want to chunk wrenches across the shop sometimes. And the next is angle wrenches. Now this set is Caterpillar. I have everything from 13/16 to 1 1/4 in Caterpillar, and then everything from 1 1/4 to 2-inch in Harbor Freight. But obviously I didn't bring all those home. This is a set from Caterpillar. Again, I can get you the part number. Just hit me up in the comments below. Angle wrenches, this is my 1 1/4. Hopefully y'all can see this. Are again a lifesaver for as far as getting on awkward hoses, awkward positions and everything. This is I believe a 60-degree offset and a 30-degree offset on these, and the Harbor Freight ones I believe are the same, 60 and 30. Again, just like service wrenches, when you're working on hydraulic hoses, angle wrenches are lifesavers. They're awesome. By awkward angles and positions and so many hoses in one area, and trying to swing an 1 3/8 or 1 7/8 wrench in there on hydraulic hoses, it can be a pain in the butt and very time consuming. You can get a quarter of a turn, when with this you could get half a turn, which makes a big difference over time. If you're doing a big job, it makes you more efficient, which is what most of my videos are about. Learning how to be a more efficient technician and a better technician, because an efficient technician and mechanic are better technicians and mechanics. So the next category is going to be a little controversial. I'm going to explain what this style of wrench is and all that, but the last category is called specialty wrenches. Now when I say specialty wrenches, don't pay attention to what wrench I have here necessarily. as you work and you get experience, you will learn what a specialty wrench to you is. Whether it's a half moon wrench, whether it's a wrench with a weird offset, a weird angle, extra long, mid-length, all that type of stuff. These wrenches are snap-on, and I did buy these brand new off the tool truck for the sole reason of nobody else could get them for me. I shopped around with this style of wrench for over a year, and I wanted it a specific way, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. And then the snap-on guy showed up, and I asked him, and he's like, oh yeah, but he tried to sell me 3 different sets just to get these 3 sizes. I don't play that game, so I bought just these 3 sizes because that's all I needed in this style of wrench. So again, I'm going to explain what these are, and we'll go more into depth on specialty wrenches. These are snap-on. This is an 18 millimeter. It is a 0 degree offset on one end, 18 millimeter, and 0 degree offset ratcheting, non-reversible on the other end. I got an 18, a 16, and a 13. Now I work on Caterpillar equipment, so these 3 sizes are must-have on almost everything. Now the reason why this style is hard to find, normally it's 17, 18, and they'll both, like, you can buy wrenches all day long with the 0 degree offset normal box end, 18, 17, 15, 16, 13, 14, and it's annoying. I don't want that. I want the same size on both ends, and I want ratcheting, and I want box end. That way if I'm up there and I can't get a ratcheting end in there, I don't have to go get another wrench. I can just turn it around. This is the style I wanted, and this is what I'm considering my specialty wrench. This wrench right here, implement pumps on D6 dozers, make your life so much freaking easier. The other 2 sizes also, I knew I would need them eventually. I have used the 13 and the 18 so far, and my coworker has used the 6. Forget what style this wrench is. This is just a specialty wrench for me, and it's awesome. I love it. Let's talk about a specialty wrench to you. As you get experience, you will learn in your craft. Whether you're working on BMWs and there's a weird bolt in some awkward place and you got to have a half moon wrench or an S wrench, that's a specialty wrench that you get with experience. This stuff, I can tell you all day long you're going to need it, especially, you know, hydraulic and heavy equipment. You're going to need these 4 style of wrenches. Need them. You're going to need them. You may not need this for what you do. I had these 4, obviously, combination, ratchet, service, and angle, and I was like, well, what category would this be? Extra long, you know, ratcheting? And I'm like, no, this is a specialty wrench. This is for a specific task most of the time. Just a handful of tasks, and when you need it, it makes your life 1,000 times easier. So, specialty wrenches is the 5th category, and that is the one that you're going to learn with experience, and nobody can tell you except for the dude working next to you with the toolbox part next to you. I can't tell you what your specialty wrench is. You can't tell me what my specialty wrench is because we work in different fields. So figure out what works for you. Specialty wrenches make you more efficient, and they're a must-have for whatever type of task you're doing it. Yeah, I could run in there with this 18 millimeter ratchet wrench and have hail all day long. One, because it's fatter, see how much bigger around it is. See if I can get that closer to the camera. You can see how much bigger around it is. Plus it's a flex head, and I may need it to be stiff, so I can get a 0 degree offset. And it would just be a nightmare. And I did it many times. And then finally I bit the bullet and found this style of wrenches, and I paid high dollar for them because they were worth it to me, because they made me a more efficient and a better technician. Specialty wrenches. So again, run it down. We'll go backwards this time just to mix it up. Specialty wrenches that you'll figure out what they are. Angle wrenches, service wrenches, ratchet wrenches, and normal combination wrenches. That's it, guys. That's everything we got. My favorite type of tool is wrenches. I have a lot of them, a lot of different styles, a lot of different brands, sizes. I just love wrenches. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you have a different idea of what your top 5 wrench categories would be, drop them in the comments below. Let me know. Please give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Follow us over on Instagram at Texas_Empire24 for daily content, and we'll see y'all later.